Casey Stengel Depot, formerly known as the Flushing Depot in Flushing Meadows Park near Corona Yard. Famously named after Casey Stengel, the Yankees and the Mets manager. Now, Casey Stengel is home to several local standard routes and two articulated routes that go through the vicinity of Flushing. The Q12, which is a new articulated route, the Q13, which is standard route via Northern and Quattro, the Q15, which is via 150th and 154th Streets, the Q15A, which is also via 150th and 154th Street, replacing the Q14, the Q16 via Utopia and Willis Point, the Q20A via Main Street, the Q20B, which also runs via Main Street, this is going pretty slow, the Q26 via Hollis Court 46th Avenue, rush hour only line, the Q28 has to Bay Terrace Bell Boulevard, the Q31 via Bayside, well, not really, Utopia Parkway, but yeah, the Q32, which runs via Roosevelt under the 7th train, the Q48 to LaGuardia Airport, the Q76 via Francis Lewis Boulevard around Flushing, and the Q44 select bus service to the Bronx.
Ready. Recording? Alright, so hi, it's Robert Sawyer Grant, and we're talking about Casey Stengel on a bullshit ass Q44 FPS.
AJ Abstract Enthusiast. Get on this bus. He's trying to play it off right now. They're trying to play it off right now. Engine sound nice. It's not nice enough for the bus route itself.
I'm sorry, wait. You said the end. Yo, this mix is horrible.
I'm just being nice, man. I'm just being nice. Okay?
Alright, well, he's being nice. I'm gonna say my true opinion about this particular book before we get to my actual part of the review.
Yeah, right.
So, this 2017 XZ60 sports the Cummins ISO 9 with EPA 17 with the Allison D500R Gen 5, and this shit's ass.
Which part of it is more?
The EPA 17.
I'm about to say the Allison part back.
It sounds like a boy. But
I hate boys.
so Casey, shit. Except for a few routes, like Q76. That's all I gotta say.
Well, also it's Q76.
Q76, good ass route. Q31, it's the shittiest route. She got experience with that too. Alright, so what do I really gotta say about this depot? They treat their buses like ass. The G44 is ass. Every other route that's not the 76 and the 26 is ass.
Slowing down Arctics is still garbage.
Well, that's an exception because they're reworking the scheduling. But everything else is ass. Don't even get me started with the 15.
15A. You wanna know what the A stands for? Ass.
Abstract ass.
Hey. The A also stands for approval for it being ass.
There's one thing I can't really say about this depot. This depot really lost his glory. Compared to back in the day, this is just a shadow of his former self. That's a fact.
It was at his best with Ryan Fox.
Exactly.
So, my personal opinion, can it be improved? Yes. Is it going to? Nowhere near in the damn future. So that's my opinion. Shit. And let's not forget the P44 is ass. These buses are ass.
Oh look, another bus. Senior 28. The A stands for ass.
You know what the B stands for?
Big ass.
Bullshit. bullshit.
I disagree.
The Q28B? Actually, I can say this. The Q28B are the lower recipient edition.
No lie, for a local select limited variation type thing, the 28 and 20B are definitely better than the 44. Hands down. Your turn.
So what do you have to say about this?
44?
Well, Casey in general.
The buses stink. The attitude of most drivers stink.
Except for one, he's actually the bus.
Yeah, that's the only exception I got. You know, I just thought about it. He's the same guy that like last year I had an MTA hat on. He's like, I thought I was getting stopped because I didn't pay or something like that. He's like, hey, huh? Where'd you get that hat from? Well, we never got that. I started laughing. Go to Amazon, you get everything you want. But anyway, Casey Stengel. The only good thing about Casey Stengel is the yard next to it. That's all I gotta say.
Corona?
The thing.
A transitory.
The thing.
You know, this is what it sounds like. Why not do a live podcast?
I accidentally stopped the recording.
Or let me say, you know, it's not like this.
Also, the tire from the last video, Corona's trash.
The only good thing that's happened to Corona, TBTC, all the operators are assholes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Every single one of them, assholes.
And half the operators barely can't even see it.
No comment. Yeah, you don't like this boyfriend?
This route is still ass. Stop trying to make up for it, man.
The maintenance shows.
Oh yeah, that's open. Just to let you know.
Open. It's an open hatch for opportunities to be less ass.
Q24. Ass.
Hey, Stengel. Ass.
Except for the 76.
Now do it in front of the camera.
For this part of the review, we will give ratings and we will talk about the actual line itself. To start off, the Q12 local line, new articulated line, starting September 1st, 2019, runs via Sanford Avenue and Northern Boulevard to Little Neck Parkway. This line needs some schedule changes, but overall, the line is an 8 out of 10. It's efficient, fast, and there's never really any problems with it. Q13 is next via Bell Boulevard and Northern Boulevard from Flushing to Fort Totten. Pretty fast, pretty quick, it's efficient. Give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the Q15 and Q15A. 15A runs via 150 of 7th Avenue and 10th Avenue, while the 15 runs via the CIP and 154th. Both run via 150 of South of 14th Avenue to Flushing, Main Street, and 9th Avenue, Power Coast Boulevard. Both routes are absolute garbage, trash. Throw them in the garbage disposal, everything, because those routes need to be reworked, redesigned, and redone. Both routes deserve a 2 out of 10. Next is the Q16, which has 2 route variants via Utopia Parkway and via Willis Point and Francis Lewis Boulevards. The main route runs to Fort Totten via 29th Avenue and Bayside Avenue, as well as Union Street to Flushing Main Street Station. Route is consistent, it's okay. I will give the route a 7 out of 10. Next is the Q28 and Q20B. The Q28 runs via 14th Avenue. Q20B runs via... Actually, the other way around. The Q28 runs via 20th and Q20B runs via 14th. Both to College Point Boulevard, 123rd Street, via Parsons Boulevard and Main Street with the Q44 to Jamaica. The Q20B is the weekday only route, while the Q28 runs all day, all night, all week. Both lines help the Q44 immensely, and I give both lines a 9.25 out of 10, because without these two lines, the Q44 wouldn't even exist, basically. Next is the Q26, which runs via Parsons Boulevard, 46th Avenue, and Hollis Court Boulevard to Horse Harding and Francis Lewis Boulevard. This is a weekday only, rush hour only line, and it's actually pretty fast and a pretty quick alternative to the Q27 if you're trying to go to Flushing. I give this route an 8 out of 10, even with only being a rush hour route, because it shows up, it is fast, and there's no problems with it. Next is possibly the worst line in the depot, the Q31, which runs via Francis Lewis Boulevard, 32nd Avenue, Corporal Kennedy Street, 35th Avenue, Bell Boulevard, 48th Avenue, Utopia Parkway, Home Lawn Street, to Jamaica, Long Island Railroad Station. Inefficient, inconsistent, slow. Q31 deserves a 1 out of 10, because if you're sitting at a bus stop, you get like 6 buses that show up that are all packed. You're not gonna get on that shit. So yeah, 1 out of 10. Next is the Q32, which basically runs under the 7 train for its entirety of the route between 82nd Street and Northern Boulevard, via 81st and 82nd Street, via Roosevelt Avenue, Queens Boulevard, Queensboro Bridge to Penn Station in Manhattan via Madison and 5th Avenue. 7 out of 10, not bad, not great. The route has a lot of gaps and inconsistency, but it could work. Next is the airport line, the Q48, which is actually the picture right here.
Yeah.
The Q48 goes to LaGuardia Airport from Flushing via Ditmars Boulevard, Roosevelt Avenue, 108th Street, and partially the GCP to terminals B, C, and D in the airport. The line is efficient when LaGuardia isn't packed. It is fast, very fast actually. It shows up as all night run. And I give this route an 8.5 out of 10, because without it, I don't think LaGuardia would have great bus service, because the Q72 is not it. Next is the Q76 via Francis Lewis Boulevard to 20th Avenue, 15th Avenue, and 131st, 132nd Streets and College Point. It runs via, once again, Francis Lewis Boulevard and Hillside Avenue to 165th Street Terminal. The line is very consistent, fast, depending on the operator, of course, and there's not really much problems with the route. It's scenic, actually, too. I give this route a 9.5 out of 10, believe it or not. Last but not least is the worst select bus service in the city, if you're not counting the M34, the Q44 select bus service via Main Street and Parsons Boulevard, Whitestone Bridge via the Cross Bronx Expressway Service Road to the Bronx Zoo from Jamaica. Inconsistent, a lot of gaps in service, a lot of bus bunching, everything. I give this route a clean 0. Maybe even a -5 out of 10, because this line is not good at all. Currently, the depot uses 2 versions of XD60s, the 2016 and 2017 EPA 17 XD60s, and the 2012 New Flyer First XD60s ever created, as well as 2 different standard type of buses, the 2015 XD40s and the Orion 7 next generation hybrid buses. They used to have Orion 5s, Orion 7 Ogens, LFS A's 2012s, and B45S Viking buses for the X51 that ran from Sanford Avenue and 165th Street via Casino to 34th Street, 3rd Avenue in Manhattan. Express bus route. Yes, this is my face. This is my face when we reviewed this depot, because this depot is actually pretty garbage. The maintenance is trash. The drivers aren't all that great. And dispatch seems to be upset whenever a Q44 is late. And this depot needs improvements. It's a shadow of its former self. It's not what it used to be back in 2009 to 2014. And it just needs to be redone. It's being demolished, possibly for the LGA air train, and rightfully so. Demolish this depot. It needs to be redone. It needs to. All these bus routes need to move. It needs to just have a model of consistency right after it. Hopefully the Q44, Q20, and Q20B gets their blessing in the stars when they move depots. And yeah, this is the Grind Brothers review of Casey Stengel, our first Queens Bus Depot review. I think I'm not 100% sure. I didn't go through the fucking page. This has been Ty, Jerome Park Productions, Robert, the story of Grant, who was Robert, and AJ, Track Enthusiast, who was AJ in the video. Thank you, and have a good fucking day. This review is over. Casey Stengel Depot is overall trash.